Greetings from the Erie Coast. This is Mad Shad. It's a beautiful day here in Cleveland. 80-something degrees. Partly cloudy skies. No rain in sight. Beautiful day. I'll tell you about those who did not have a beautiful day. Those Americans that are trapped in Afghanistan, left there by Trader Joe and his malicious / incompetent regime. At least we forget 13 servicemen and women died at Abbey Gate in Kabul, Afghanistan, along with 200 other poor souls. 300 plus people are lost arms and legs and limbs, things that don't grow back. A lot of them with service members as well. Every day, never forget, and never forget whose fault this is. Deploy knife hands. But there was hope. Folks getting them out. Task Force Argo, Task Force Pineapple, Project Exodus, Project Dynamo Christian Coalition, Mighty Oak Foundation, just to name a few. And at least we forget 700, 800 plus people, 1,500 people are still charged awaiting trial, are still incarcerated over the J6 debacle, held there as political prisoners without sentencing, without bail, torturous, solitary confinement conditions. Someone lost an eye. There have been suicides. But there's hope. I'm all fucked up. Yeah. Every day, never forget it. Never forget whose fault this is. And yes, definitely deploy more knife hands. But there is hope. There is hope. Thousands of people, family, friends, loved ones, charitable organizations, law firms doing pro bono work, even some senators, congressmen, representatives, judges, former president, soon to be president, and the Supreme Court getting into the fray. Meanwhile, when the Supreme Court ruled that the obstruction 1512C2, which is obstructing a official proceeding, basically these people were charged with trying to derail the counting of the ballots, their work that they were doing on January the 6th at the Capitol building to, basically steal the election, which they did. Yes. And, they put all those people in jail. And of course, later on, 3 plus years later, finally, Fisher versus DOJ came up to the SCOTUS Supreme Court, and they ruled in favor of Fisher, meaning that the obstruction charge was a overreach by the DOJ. Yeah, what is it? Okay, right. So we're like, oh right, yeah, there's hope. Yeah, those people are going free, right? No, they're not. Matter of fact, the DOJ is doubling down and saying basically, only just a handful of people can be affected. What's up? Yeah. Okay, I'll tell them. I got it. Yeah. So the DOJ is doubling down, and they're digging through more evidence to charge these people that have the obstruction charge doesn't apply to them into something else, more stuff, trying to charge them with more. The weaponized DOJ of a tyrannical regime. They, a Marxist communist political party. They always go after their political rivals, all of them, either imprison them or assassinate them. That's the way it's always been, and that's no different here. So, what does that mean? That means the 355 people that were charged with obstruction, not to mention everybody that was charged with obstruction and other things, right? And all those people that pled guilty to obstruction, they still have to do that time, right? Because they pled guilty, and not to mention, they're just going to find more stuff, more trumped up charges, and it's a basically the DOJ is saying it's a minor setback. Welcome to USSA, United Socialist States of America. Anyway, yeah. There is hope. Lots of people are using this. Lots of folks are using this to try to get these people out, because it is a overreach, a major overreach, and Trump is being charged with obstruction as well. They're going to make it stick. They said they're going to try to make it stick. I don't know. See what's going on. Weaponized when the weaponized judicial system. Yeah. Yep. What else is there? Yeah. Oh, on this day, George Washington, 248 years ago, George Washington was putting the last final touches on his army, gathering his troops, getting them bacon and beans and bullets and band-aids, and then they're off to New York, off to Massachusetts, and New York they go. Massachusetts, New Jersey, New York. At this time, after this declaration, Declaration of Independence. Happy Independence Month, by the way. It's all month long, right? All month long. The British started the British tax agents and officials started to get pushback. People just started to not comply. There was a case of one tax collector getting chased out of town, and everybody laughed at him and threw things at him as he ran back to tell King George, "Ooh, help me!" Which a small contingency of British troops. I forget what state, what city this was in, but I remember the story. Small contingency of British troops showed up with their red coats and their muskets, and they walked into town like, "Oh, what's all this then, eh?" And they were promptly met with a hellfire of rotten tomatoes and cabbages and rocks, and and chased them out of town without firing a shot. This was the day. This was the time of defiance. After the 4th of July, the July the 2nd is when they started to write everything down. But what they did is they didn't sit down and everybody gathered together inside. No, they passed it around in secret. A lot of them passed around in secret. John Hancock being the first one to sign it, of course, which everybody thought he was a very pompous bastard for his signature. But it's the most one of the most iconic and famous signatures on the Declaration of Independence, John Hancock. But you have to understand too, these people that signed this Declaration of Independence, they were wanted men. They went into hiding. Most of them had to go into hiding because the British assassins were hot on their heels to come and get them. Thomas Jefferson, not so much. He was kind of like, "Yeah, fuck you, come and get me." I doubt it. I doubt you can. And that's what started everything. That 4th of July. 4th of July. So days after that is when we really showed our defiance. A lot of state legislation and stuff, and even some towns were like, hey, we can reconcile with the British. Hey, we need to reconcile with the British. We can't go to war with them. But the more they tried, the more that those cities and states tried to reconcile with the British, the more the British were like, nah, fuck you. We're just going to rape, pillage, and plunder. And so more and more those states and cities and municipalities were like, well, I guess there's no other choice but total declaration of independence. And so this whole month is Independence Month. Many things, very many acts of defiance happened after the 4th of July for 6 to 7 months afterwards. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Well, time for me to go. Go Team Linda. Go Team Linda. Fuck cancer. She is kicking ass, taking names, getting stronger by the day. Go TeamJoe. Go TeamJoe. Fuck addiction. He is kicking ass and taking names, getting stronger by the day. Go check out Joe Morgan's channel. Give him some love and support. This has been Mad Shad. Every day, never forget.